Race in last year's SCCA runoffs at Mid-Ohio. That many cars usually means limited space. Limited space means someone doesn't fit. And when you spin in front of half the field, usually it takes others with you. But sometimes Lady Luck spares you, as she did Tom Oates. The biggest battle of the 2001 race was between Richard Chauhan, who powered past number 32 Kelly Lubosh, racing door-to-door for the silver and bronze. But the day belonged to Michigan's Andy McDermott, who had his Ford Mustang running on rails. McDermott took the checkers a gaping 31 seconds ahead of his nearest competition for his second title in a row. Can he add another today? We'll see. If running and racing big V8 powered muscle cars is your cup of tea, or maybe shot in a beer, then American Sedan is for you. And Andy McDermott is the two-time and defending champion in this class. Blue ovals and bow ties. He's carrying the Mustang colors for the Ford guys against the Camaros out here in American Sedan. But looking calm, cool, and collected, and behind the wheel of a Camaro is Richard Chauhan. He expects to be a challenger for the title this year and has been fast in early practice and qualifying. So look for the rubbing and racing to go on here, American Sedan style. Now let's go to my broadcast partner. Here's Dorsey Schrader.
In the American muscle car ranks, it's always been a war between Chevrolet and Ford. The three cars here could win today. In the Chevrolet camp comes Cary Grant. Now, he's the Midwest Division champion, and in his Camaro, he has won 4 times. Now, I'm a Mustang kind of a guy. You know that. I had one myself. So I look over here at the Southwest Division champ, Bob Hahn. He has also won 4 times in his Mustang. Don't count out Kent Binninger. Now, Kent took some time off to be with family this year, but he's finished the season up very strong, has come to Mid-Ohio with a very fast Mustang.
5 liters of big V8 power in American sedans are going for a national championship, and there are 40 of them trying to find that one very important spot first across the start-finish line and the checkered flag. It's national championship racing at the Valvoline Runoffs. Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course hosts the event for the 9th time and the 39th time for the runoffs to occur. We're glad you could join us. I'm Brian Drebber with Dorsey Schrader up here in the booth. Guy Hobbs and Chris Neville downstairs. Here's a look at the racetrack these big cars are going to try to fit on.
A perfect racetrack for these big cars to fit on because of its length. 2.4 miles, 15 turns. They're tight turns, but long straightaways. These guys got big 310 cubic inch V8s. A lot of muscle. They got enough room for 40 cars? I doubt it.
40 cars will start. We're not sure how many are going to finish, and you can bet that they're going to be pushing and shoving around the racetrack. Let's take a look at the Valvoline starting grid, show you how they line up. Matthew Roberts with his first ever pole position, Chauhan in second position, and look at Andy McDermott back in 5th, qualifying kind of a mixed bag, and some guys didn't get fast laps in time.
Well, the Ford takes the pole, but you got 2 Chevys, and they're fast. They're second and third, and then a whole gaggle of Ford Mustangs right behind it. But I'll tell you what's hard of these cars, tires. You can burn them right off.
15 Fords, 21 Chevys, and 4 Pontiac Trans Ams make up the field of 40 cars here. And let's go downstairs right now to Chris Neville.
Well, up here on point, Matt Roberts, his 3rd time at the runoffs. He's never led, so he's leading this thing from the get-go. I talked to Matt just a little while ago. He said, it's mine to lose, but I'm willing to throw some elbows out there. And I think if you took a look at the other side of the car over here, he's already thrown some elbows this weekend, and this might be more of a street fight than a race. A little bit further back to Guy.
Thanks, Chris. I'm down in 10th spot where Thomas Oates, probably the hardest working man in the SCCA this weekend. He's racing in 3 different classes. He's the 2000 Touring and 2 class champion, and now he's going for the American Sedan Championship. As I mentioned, he starts back in 10th place. Tom Oates looking for a win in his Chevy Camaro today.
A lot of drivers are going to be looking for their win here from even deeper in the field than 10th, but Tom Oates has certainly proven that he is worthy of a national championship in the past. He'll be going for another one here today in just a few minutes, but he's got a lot of competition, and you'll see all of it. Coverage of the SCCA Valvoline Runoffs is brought to you by Valvoline. You can always tell the guys who use Valvoline. Well, those big bad race cars are out there on the track right now on their siding lap at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, and shortly the green flag will wave and turn them loose, and that is going to be an impressive sight.
Big old American muscle cars here. All have 305 cubic inch V8s. You can balance and blueprint them. They allow you to do modifications to suspension and brakes, and believe me, you need those brakes here at Mid-Ohio.
And you need a lot of that big, hard sheet metal out there, too, that some of these guys will be using through the course of the race. We always hope for good, clean racing, but somehow it just seems to go the way of bump and run. Let's go downstairs to Chris Neville.
Well, back-to-back champion, and Andy McDermott, who's going for the hat trick this weekend, has been a little bit disappointed with the week thus far. He's been snake bit with mechanical problems. He's disappointed with his qualifying effort, but I talked to him right before they went out. He said, I'm a big guy. I got a big car. I'm coming through.
And down here, Richard Chauhan, who is qualified in second position, no problems before the race. And the idea is to save the tires for the first 10 laps and use them up in the second 10 laps. Brian?
Getting ready to go, and Dorsey, I would imagine that these cars could abuse a set of tires pretty badly.
Well, you got that right. They can rip the skin right off the back of these with the kind of power they make, and they're going to have to temper it in the beginning. You can't win this till the end, and you got to have something left to win with.
Well, if Andy McDermott's going to make a run to the front, we're going to see it, because we're riding on board with the big guy in the number 24 as they get set to go to the green flag here, starting from the backside of the racetrack.
If you're a believer in rubbing is racing, you're about to get some.
Well, they had some rubbing marks on them just from qualifying as they go green. Here in the American Sedan class, vying for a national championship. Mustangs, Camaros, and Trans Ams, and we've got a big move for the lead. A huge move coming up from deep in the field. Takes over. McDermott's in second position, and he's got a eye full of brake lines on the number 9 car. That's Chubba Buddha Show, and we got cars off the track.
We got trouble. Luckily, that car spun to the inside, and it's given enough room, but all the bumping and banging has already started as we saw McDermott give a little nudge, and that's what he needed to do to get where he had to go. 25 of Matthew Roberts, our pole sitter, is the man off the racetrack, and he got shuffled back in a hurry and then spun out. And now we got another car backing it into the gravel trap, the 15 of Chauhan. So we've got 2 of the big contenders, the pole sitter and one of the real contenders in this race, are out already. And that was with some help from Mr. McDermott. I hate to say it, but when we showed the road, a big wreck behind the front 2. That's going to collect a bunch of people.
Another one.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. I saw that spin and looked at the front of the red car, the Mustang. That was a big hit with someone. Well, both those cars are going to be out. Those are really hurt.
Well, the 2 leaders have skated away pretty much unscathed, as out in front it is Chubba Buddha Show. We're going to have to call him CB, I'm afraid.
That car right there, the red Mustang, just lost the radiator, so it's going to be antifreeze everywhere.
Oh, boy.
There's your 15.
They're still trying to get him out of the gravel trap as the 2 lead cars went by pretty cleanly. All the trouble started deeper in the field.
Well, here it is happening already. There was a bump there. The Camaro got a little loose, and as they come up here, look at McDermott. He's going to come up. Oh, he got a little help right there. And it stacks everybody up pretty solidly. You see everybody trying to get on the brakes and wave to each other, say, look out. And that's just the start of it right there. Of course, here, watch. Those 2 just got together. McDermott hit the 15. It puts it backwards right into the gravel trap. It's not going anywhere. That's going to bring the full course sooner or later. It hasn't happened yet. And then the big grand carambolage.
15 car backed into the field. You're busting on poor Andy McDermott. He's up there in second spot behind Buddha Show. And these 2 guys were the ones staying out of trouble. It was all difficulty was going on behind them with LaCroix and Bob Hahn. Thomas Oates has come up from 10th to 5th in the running order right now. But this man's name is, you would think, almost unpronounceable. It is Chubba Buddha Show, leading the race in American Sedan, ahead of the number 24 of defending champ Andy McDermott, who's going for his 3rd.
Well, I tell you, Chubba, really aggressive start, got up there, and you're right, him and McDermott have stayed clean so far, and they didn't put a caution out, which is really surprising to me. That means they towed the 15 out of that gravel trap already.
Coming to the start-finish line right
there's
there.
The yellow.
Yellow flag, and they're going to slow it down now. A full course caution, apparently, as they were not able to get the mess cleaned up quickly enough. So that's going to slow down the leaders and bunch up the field here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, and we're going to have to do it all over again in just a little bit. You're on board with Andy McDermott, the defending champion in American Sedan, chasing leader Chubba Buddha Show in the number 9. He qualified 3rd. He is leading this race in his Chevy Camaro, but now we're under a full course caution, and we'll start them over again here in just a few minutes. Stay with us in the Valvoline Runoffs at Mid-Ohio. Back racing here in the American Sedan class at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in the SCCA Valvoline Runoffs National Championship, and we've already had a whole bunch of action as the cars get ready to go once again behind Chubba Budashaw, who is your leader, Andy McDermott, who is your defending champion, carrying the onboard camera. And there was just all kinds of mayhem behind these two.
And it was all just a stack-up effect up there in the S's, and everybody just kind of got into it back of everybody else. And that's what happens with big cars.
The top two qualifiers were involved, and Matthew Roberts and Richard Chauhan, both of them are moving again and out there on the racetrack. They lost a lot of positions.
Well, these cars are really, really on a nice edge. It doesn't take much to turn one around backwards. A little bitty bump. You see how right there, you can see a good classic example of the car sliding across the surface of the racetrack.
Roberts, in fact, back in 33rd position and Chauhan 38th.
The big four-wheel drifts coming up over the top there. They have plenty of power, these cars. They can break the rear wheels loose in any gear at any speed.
McDermott having a look inside. No contact, but Andy McDermott, if he's saving his tires, he must have decided that a few caution laps saved them for him.
It's a great shot, too, as we look out to the front and watch the steering wheels on the front end of the Camaro there, and you see all the corrections the driver's making.
Still on board with McDermott as they cross the start-finish line to finish 4 laps. Still a tightly packed bunch here. There, another look at the 29 car. Brian LaCroix, he was kind of in the middle of all that action for a while. And the 25 of the pole sitter, Matthew Roberts. Let's go to Chris Neville for more on that.
Well, Matt was pretty excited about being the pole sitter, but he had never led a runoff race before. He wasn't up there long. Any word from what happened?
Front runners up there were resorting to some rough driving to take the pole position from us, and they're pretty effective with it.
How's Matt feel right now?
It's very upset.
Well, it sounds like he's pretty frustrated. He had a really good week going into today, but race day is all that matters.
Well, he's trying to work his way up through the field. Doing a little pushing and shoving of his own there on the 89 car of on that yellow 89 Camaro.
Right, the 89 knows he's there now. He just gave him that tap. Hey, I'm back here. Look in your mirror.
The 89 is Gene Nichols out of Arkansas.
And there the pass is made, right?
Yep.
The horsepower down the straightaway.
Well, Roberts was fast. He was the pole sitter, and he sure got shuffled back by some very aggressive driving up front. Bob Hahn, Brian LaCroix, Thomas Oates from 10th to 5th, as we mentioned, but it is Budashaw that is leading this race.
Look at that.
There we go again. He's still rooting and pawing, trying to get up there.
That's exactly what happened to him at the beginning, is the same kind of a tactic as that. You can't be bumping these guys when the car's unloaded going over the hill, or you're going to spin, and there's no room for the car to go without taking somebody with it.
This is the closest that Robert Davis has been to the pole sitter as he tries to make a move inside and has to back it out with a couple of wheels.
We got 2 in the ditch here.
Checking up, and we got a waving yellow in the turn there as the 3 car gets going again.
3 car, we got one stuck in the gravel trap on the outside. Look at the damage to the 88. That was from that first lap incident.
That's exactly right. The 88 was definitely involved. Ken Bittinger, he's soldiering on around the racetrack with a very compromised looking race car. Now the battle up front again with Budashaw still holding off McDermott, who's I would say being very patient, although he's not afraid to show the leader a fender here and there.
Now these 2 guys are doing a smart thing. They're not knocking each other all off the racetrack, and because of that, they're able to pull away from the rest of the guys. You know, there's not much room when you got 20 cars going for the lead. I'd rather just race one guy like this.
A little under 2-second advantage for Budashaw over the 3rd place. Brian LaCroix, he's got McDermott for company. And there you can see how close together they are on the racetrack. LaCroix in 3rd, Bob Hahn in 4th, and Thomas Oates in 5th. This is the battle for 5th right now.
I tell you, Budashaw really gets off of the keyhole really good and pulls a big lead. And then when he gets to this end, it looks like the Mustang is actually handling better. But all it does is catch him up. He can't find a way around.
It's Oates in the Tiger Stripe 99 and the number 80 of David Fenhouse. This is, as we said, the battle for 5th position. Hahn just in front of them, edging away ever so slightly, and Oates trying to hold off a battle there from the 80 car. Five laps complete, coming up on the end of the 6th lap here very shortly. Oates driving across the curve there, and there you can see 4th, 3rd, and 2nd place cars just ahead of them. There's not a lot of room in between them all. Once they sort out these little battles, you should be able to settle down to some pretty serious racing for position.
What you want to do with these cars is drive it completely smooth, because the more of the sliding around you do, it's a death spiral. You just make the car worse. Look at it side-by-side through one.
Venhouse inside, made that move coming off turn 15, was able to get position on Tom Oates. Oates now trying to come back on him as they enter the chicane. That's going to be tough. And Venhouse holds the lead, or holds the 5th position over Oates. There is the leader, Chubba Budashow, Canfield, Ohio, and what a great day it would be for him if he could hold on and win here in front of a lot of Ohio fans. We got an off-track excursion by McDermott, and he gets it back on, but not before losing the number 2 spot here. So Andy McDermott, the defending champion, having problems, and now he's trying to get up through the gears and back up to speed.
I was going to say, when I saw that picture of Budashow, hey, what's happened to Andy? He's not there anymore. I guess we'll find out.
So Chubba Budashow out in front, and he comes, the runner-up Andy McDermott comes back onto the racetrack, and he will try to resume the battle. No longer in second place. We'll be right back.
Only been around since 1995, but in that short period of time, one man has managed to win it twice, Andy McDermott. Andy, looking for the hat trick this weekend. Can you pull it off?
Boy, it's going to be tough. We're going to need some serious mechanical reliability, and those guys are really gunning for me.
Do you find the guys treat you differently out on track now they know you're going for 3 in a row?
Yeah, they are starting to get a lot faster than they used to be, and it's really going to be a chore getting it done 3 times.
Last year you won from the pole in this Ford Mustang. Trying to get the hat trick, I'm sure you can do it, but you're going to get a little more pressure.
Yeah, there's a big old bullseye on the back of this thing now.
All right, well, we'll try and keep that bullseye empty and go for the triple 20.
McDermott dropped all the way back to 14th position. He's raced himself up to 11th in just a short time since the incident occurred, Dorsey, and well, I would say now it's going to be really tough.
It is. Look at the smoke coming out of the back of the thing. He's really got a problem now. That looks like it could be. That's a big oil leak.
Yeah, he's done off the course.
He's done. He knows something bad's wrong, and he's pulled her off.
Before he oils down the track, so he tucks it over on the inside there to get off the racing line. And Andy McDermott, speaking about mechanical reliability issues, he's got coolant flowing up out from under the hood there, and we'll take another look at what happened, Dorsey, to find out just what may have affected McDermott's ride at this point.
Well, now I'm going to be theorizing, but what we saw that fluid right there. Let's see what happens here. He takes a look up inside the 29, bumps him. Oh, he just took himself out. He just literally got himself. Now, he went over the curb. You see that big yellow curb? I bet you he damaged the radiator or damaged something underneath the front of the car, because now it's overheated and blown up.
He did re-enter the racetrack in 14th position and raced himself up to 11th before something let go. And the big guy's climbing out of the Mustang right now, and there will be no 3rd consecutive title for Andy McDermott.
Well, he did a good job of realizing he had a problem and just getting it out into the grass there, so he didn't oil down the track for everyone else.
Chubba Budashow leading this race and having an easy time of it now with McDermott's exit. Let's go down to Guy Hobbs.
Yeah, we're down with Kent Bidding, and Kent, very early retirement, bust-up car, some pretty nasty driving out there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a NASCAR race out there. The last 3 years, I've had really rough luck here at the runoffs. I had good position on people, and they were cutting down on me, and I got spun out and taken out again, and my luck just doesn't seem to come with me to the runoffs.
The last 3 haven't been so good.
No, crashed 2 years ago on a blown motor a year ago, and then this again this year.
Now, the other bad news is your teammate Andy McDermott. You just told me he had a bad transmission. He's just pulled it off to the side of the road, won't make it 3 in a row, and he, of course, has won here 8 times already in a row.
Yeah, Andy's an incredible driver. He builds my car for me. He taught me a lot about racing, and it's really unfortunate that he's having a rough day today, too. He's definitely the class of the field.
All right, well, Kent, we'll let you try and get your sense of humor back and refresh up.
Well, the new leader could make a pretty good argument about being the class of the field himself right now with a 2.5-second lead.
I was about to say, he looks like this man's the class of the field, blowing everybody off like that.
There's the park race car of Andy McDermott. He's already left the cockpit, and now we're just watching one of the workers here at the Valvoline runoffs through the onboard camera of Andy McDermott. There's your leader finishing up lap number 9. There's how far behind him is Brian LaCroix in the number 29. LaCroix running in 2nd position pretty steadily, too, in his 97 Camaro.
You look at Chubba right there, and look how he's driving the car. Look how smooth he turns in real nice. There's no big slides going on. And that's the kind of way you have to drive these cars to get him to go as fast as he's going right now. Very smooth.
Yeah, he has not put a wheel wrong. Was able to wrestle the thing back into shape after McDermott made a move on him. He goes through the keyhole now and down the hill and towards the backstretch.
That car working perfectly right now. There's no sliding around. you know, doesn't nose over too hard on the brake when he gets on the brake down here. Watch the nose. It's very well balanced.
For 8th position, we're watching Cary Grant in the number 6 car, and a move being put on him by Kenneth McVicker. McVicker pulling almost alongside, but Grant with a little bit under the hood there holds him off as they go down into the hardest braking corner here, turn 6.
Yeah, looks like Cary, Grant got in there very, very deep. 83 gave it up.
McVicker not able to make the pass, and Monty Coles right behind them in 10th place. You can see there are little scuffles going on all over the racetrack now, except for in the neighborhood of the leader. This one is still pretty good. Through the infield part of the racetrack, McVicker there seems to have some pretty good cornering action, and a little bit of speed by Cary Grant down the one straightaway that's long enough is the advantage that he has, it seems. So while we've watched the battle for 6th place, Chubba Budashow, the number 9 car, out in front. An Ohio driver leads at Mid-Ohio. Welcome back to the Valvoline Runoffs at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. You're watching the pole sitter and would-be leader of the race. He said he had come here quite a few times and never led a race. He was all the way back in 38th at one position. Now he's in 20th position. So at one thing, Dorsey Schrader, you have to say that at least he's having some fun out there and doing a lot of racing, passing some folks.
He's getting his money's worth out of it today. He had a big lurid slide coming out of turn 1 there, gathered that up, so he's got his foot down pretty hard right now trying to catch those guys.
25 seconds behind the leader, so a tall order to get up front here at the halfway mark. He's got 10 laps to try to do it. He is pretty definitely the fastest car on the track, the only one running in the low 142s. In fact, the only one under 1 minute and 43 seconds a lap here at Mid-Ohio in the American Sedan class.
The bad news on that is because of the position he's put himself into, he's have to run those laps like that early on in the race. We still have half the distance to go, and he's using the car up pretty hard right now.
You can see the entire rundown across the top of your screen there. After 10 complete laps, working on lap number 11, watching the number 17 car of Robert Eubanks out of Jacksonville, Florida, way deep in the field. Back in 26th position, but a good-looking silver car there in the American Sedan class. 99 Ford Mustang out of Jacksonville, Florida. All alone on the track there. He's already put a couple of cars behind him. Here's that battle for 8th position now. Cary Grant and Kenneth McVicker still have not solved the issue between themselves.
It looks like Grant gets through the corners a little bit better, but I don't think he's got the motor. We'll see here when he comes around on the keyhole here and heads down that straightaway. But to me, it looks like the 83's got some horsepower.
McVicker looking inside. A couple of wheels up over the curb there. Lost maybe a half a car length with that move. Now he's in the draft pretty good, pulling up. He could make a move here going down into turn number 6. He's looking to the right side, but he's not close enough yet. About halfway to the corner, and here they go. On the brakes hard now, and Cary Grant keeps it.
Yeah, it looks like Grant's better on the brake pedal down there for sure. McVicker gives up every time they get down to the bottom there. It looks like he's got more mile per hour, but he can't quite get it done.
So Cary Grant holds on to 8th position over Kenneth McVicker. Tom Oates is ahead of them in 7th place. Then it's Kyle Watkins a little further up again. The whole rundown across the top of the screen there. Chubba Budashow continues to lead. He jumped out right on the very first lap and survived a restart too. Watching the 40 car of Ronald LeBaron out of Virginia. And we're looking for the number 25 car who just set the fastest lap in the race. And he is really hauling it up there.
Yeah, you got a big old 4-wheel drift power slide over the top of 13 there, or 12. But like I say, he's running a lot of using. Oh, somebody's off the road.
Off the track. That'll pick up a position for Matt Roberts right away as he works behind John Blizzard in the number 13 car. Gets a fender inside, a little tap. Blizzard holds on, and Roberts can't get by him.
Yeah, and somebody, like you said, went flying off up there in 13 and stuck in the gravel trap over there.
Let's go to Guy Hobbs quickly.
Just talk to Matthew Roberts' team. He's not saying anything on the radio. He's way too busy concentrating on his racing, but he is really pushing it right now.
We can certainly see that. He's got no shortage of cars in front of him, though, Dorsey. And while he might be having fun, he's probably feeling a little frustration. We heard about that earlier.
Well, he's definitely got his head down. No question. Now he's working the inside of John Blizzard. He's going to get a...
Whoa!
Oh, that's what I thought was going to happen.
Oh, and he turned Blizzard out of his way, but then he ended up right in front of him. So once again...
Got a fire coming. He's stalled the motor there, so he's trying to get it refired.
Matthew Roberts with flames coming out of the exhaust pipe on the right side of his Mustang. And
keep it floored, baby. Just keep the pedal down. It'll fire. Doesn't burn the door off, Chris.
Yeah, he's still trying to get it going there. And when we see something besides a flame coming out, we'll know that the engine has refired. There he goes. He gets it going and spins the tires to move out again. We're going to take another look at that. It took a while to unfold.
Well, that's two solid objects trying to occupy the same spot at the same time. You see what happens. There's the fender in the quarter panel. Now he's got him right in the door, so he's trying to push him out of the way. And stalls the motor right there. You see the flame come out. There it is right there. He tries to refire.
Well, Matthew Roberts with some aggressive moves had just set the fastest lap of the race. He returns to the competition. He had gotten up to 18th place at that point. But now it's going to be a slow and painful ride as we have more smoke, tire smoke apparently off the 80 car there.
That was a funny little slide going on there too.
That was Venhouse, who had been fighting with Kerry Grant for position. Sorry, that was the number 83 now has moved up. McVicker and Venhouse in the 80, who was having that problem just a moment ago, gave up his spots, and now Grant and McVicker are battling for 6th. So here's your leader, Chubba Budashow, and he is really putting on a show here, having led all of the 13 laps so far. The Valvoline Runoffs at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, the Olympics of Motorsports, the 39th running of this historic event and the 9th time we've been to this beautiful natural terrain road course just north of Columbus. And Chubba Budashow has led all 13 laps of this race. He's getting into some traffic right now, and that alone will provide a little bit of entertainment for him. I think he's been all alone out there by himself.
Boy, and look how smooth he is with this car. He's doing just a great job. There's no way they're going to catch him if he doesn't make a mistake, and he knows that by now. I'm sure his crew's telling him. Just stay smooth. That's the whole secret now.
Comes up behind and around Wendy Lee in the number 42 car. Wendy out of Indian Trail, North Carolina, in an 82 Camaro, one of the older models out there, but pretty similar to the one driven by the leader. Budashow edges away as he enters the keyhole. Now he'll get to open it up here down the back straightaway. Pushing all the way back to the number 2 car on the track, the 29 of Brian LaCroix. LaCroix out of Massachusetts and the New England, the Northeast Division. He's got a 97 Camaro. And the bow tie, the blue ovals and bow ties going after it here in American Sedan.
They're running almost identical lap times. First 2 cars are within a 10th every lap. Looks like he's got the front balance on that Camaro's loose. When he brakes, the thing jumps up and down, and looks like the hood's going to fly up.
Couple of Camaros up front, and the Mustang of Bob Hahn is in 3rd position. There he is in the 96 car.
Bob doing a good job. He's one of the guys I had interviewed early on. He was real happy with his car. They took some time out of racing and gathered up some money to build a motor program for this thing, so he thought he had a pretty good horsepower.
He's running lap times equal to the leader, and the 25 car is pulled into the garage, so it appears that Matthew Roberts, the pole sitter, has had a pretty eventful day so far, but it is over as Chubba Budashow continues to lead this race. Although the fastest car on the track now is the one in 2nd place. Brian LaCroix in the number 29 that we're looking at here could have been saving his tires for a late race run at the leader.
Chubba makes it look awful easy. I can tell you for a fact that it is not. What he's doing in balancing the car like that is hard to do. He's really concentrating to keep the car that nice.
The lap car of Wendy Lee, number 42, just ahead of the 3rd place, number 96 car of Bob Hahn. So Hahn's going to have to work his way around on this. As they enter the chicane, he probably won't really get a good chance until they get into the keyhole and down the back straightaway. He'll have to be patient, and he's losing time to the leaders.
That's one of the things about Mid-Ohio. It's such a rhythm racetrack, and if you get caught up with a slower car in the wrong place, it just kills you.
In 4th position is number 78, Kyle Watkins. Here's the battle now for 5th between Kerry Grant and Kenneth McVicker. They stay right together, but keep moving up.
Those 2 guys are definitely pushing each other up to speed.
and are making ground. Actually, they're moving forward with that.
Well, they've just followed one another around the track. We saw a little battling going on, but now it seems like McVicker is content to follow Grant because he's been following him towards the front in a possible medal here at the Valvoline Runoffs. American Sedan will be inside 4 laps to go when we return, and it is just getting good. Chubba Show crossing the start-finish line with 4 laps remaining in the runoffs. For a national championship, it would be his first, and it has been a command performance for this man.
Ryan LaCroix is actually whittling away at his time. They're very much closer together than they were a few laps ago.
Let's go down to Chris Neville with the crew chief of the 9 car.
Yeah, I'm here with Joe Rothermel, and you're the crew chief. However, you don't have a radio, so you really don't have a whole lot on what's going on with Chubba. But last time he went by, we noticed we're hearing a little bit something from the motor. Are you getting worried?
Not really. It's probably just a cracked header. We had trouble with the headers this week.
Okay, but he's running a real smooth race, but LaCroix's starting to edge in on him.
Well, let's just see what happens. We got, what is it, 5 more laps?
Let's call it 4 and less than 4 at this point as Budashow works around the lap 13 car of John Blizzard. We saw him earlier, and he's fallen off the pace and working down through the results table while Budashow stays out in front. But yes, LaCroix, it was almost 4 seconds. It's under 3 now. So LaCroix definitely making a run at the leader.
And of course, the patience we saw him taking with the lap traffic, of course, cut into the lead even that much more again. Oh, 83 cars off. Oh, just barely does not hit the guardrail.
That's McVicker, who was fighting with Cary Grant there and was following him towards the front. So Grant's still in 5th. McVicker has just taken himself out of 6th position and is trying to get the car fired again. Here's what happened. He was going for it.
Down inside turn 1, tried to get the inside, locks up the rear brake, gets the car sideways. That's not turn 1, I'm wrong. Jumps over the curb, and really lucky here that he got it stopped right before it would have hit that guardrail there.
Down in the S's.
That was just rear brake lockup. We saw him get inside there. He took him in deep, and Grant's been better on the brake every time. He tried to go in there just as deep as Cary did, and it just didn't stick.
The SCCA workers over there talking to the race car driver. Obviously, he's okay. Just can't do anything about his current plight. Just parked inside the racetrack there and up against the guardrail. LaCroix down to 2.5 seconds advantage, and this is a battle now for 4th position as Cary Grant in the 6th car has caught Kyle Watkins, or almost anyway, and he could definitely have a podium spot if he keeps driving like this.
Yeah, he's right there with him now. I mean, once you can see the guy and you're that close to him, magic happens. Somehow you just find a way to get up there.
The 2 of them in sight of 3rd place. Bob Hahn in the 96. You'll see Hahn's car just ahead of him disappearing down the straightaway as they come out of the keyhole. This is the 78 of Kyle Watkins running in 4th position. He's getting challenged by Cary Grant in 5th, while the leader, Chubba Budashow, is unchallenged. The Valvoline Runoffs, American Sedan class, one of the newer classes in a very old series of racing that is called the Olympics of Motorsport, and rightly so. 650 some odd cars showed up here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, all of whom earned their way here by finishing in the top 10 in their division, and among other things, getting an invitation to the Runoffs. It is the biggest event in motorsports in the United States, and Chubba Budashow is looking to put his name in the record book alongside some very famous ones if he can win his first national championship.
He's an Ohio native. I suspect he has 1 million miles around this racetrack. The way he drives it, I mean, he could be an instructor here. That's a textbook line, just smooth and perfect. Everywhere he's going, he's doing it just perfect.
He's inside 2 laps to go now as Budashow heads for the finish line. A little bit deeper in the field, a battle for 9th position between the 40 car of Ronald LeBaron and the 57 of Tom Himes.
And they're going to go side by side for turn 1.
And just ahead of them, the 47 car in 8th position there of Rocky Ellie out of Illinois. But here these 2 guys are staying side by side. You'd think there were there was a center line painted down the racetrack where they were, but the 57 of Himes gets around.
that actually cost both of them a lot of time, because by doing that, going side by side, they had to slow up quite a bit to make the corner.
LeBaron still trying to get the spot away, and we've got big problems here for the 28 car. And that's Thomas Brown out of Horseheads, New York on Long Island.
That baby's done blown up. That's a classic. He's already out of it, and you see it. You see underneath the car some moisture already. That one let loose.
He started out in 25th position in the race, and Brown's day is done a little bit early there. Chevy Camaro going up in smoke. 11th place battle now with the 92 car in front of it, and that is James Stevens. Stevens started 19th and has worked his way all the way up to 11th. He's out of Maryville, Illinois, also driving a Chevy Camaro. Coming up on the white flag lap for the leader, while they still have issues to settle for the top spots, and even the podium is not decided. The lead for Chubba Boudichot back up to about 3.5 seconds. LaCroix made a run at him, but got caught up in some traffic. And we're watching some of the races going on a little bit deeper in the field. The 92 car running in 11th position right now. James Stevens just ahead of him. It's the 40 of Ronald LeBaron in 10th. So looking for a top 10 finish here is Stevens, if he can just get around that blue and yellow 40.
That's always the problem. If you could just get around it. And you try to find a way to make magic happen on this last lap, knowing that you got to do something. I saw some smoke there where somebody's been off the road. Probably just dropped a couple wheels off. There it is there on the outside of one.
Number 16 of Michael Besselman. He started in 27th, and he's worked his way up to 12th. So we've got a lot of cars that have been moving forward in the race here, and helped a little bit by the attrition among some of the favorites and leaders that went out early.
Yeah, absolutely. That war up in the front took its toll for sure.
Final lap for Chubba Boudichot in the number 9 car that has led every lap here in American Sedan, making a runaway, and a lot of people are going to be going, Chubba who? His name didn't really appear in the record books. He jumps up, qualifies 3rd, takes the lead right off the green flag, stays out of trouble, and from there it was just a textbook drive.
Yeah, you couldn't do it much better than that. I mean, he kept clean when everybody else was hammering on each other, and like I said, he might as well be a driver's school instructor. He's doing a perfect line around Mid-Ohio here.
So calm, cool, and collected, he ought to hang his elbow out the window as he comes around turn 15 to the start-finish line. Ohio driver Chubba Boudichot is going to win on his home track here and take a national championship back to his hometown of Canfield. His crew chief looking on, and the national championship in American Sedan goes to the number 9 car. Let's go to Chris Neville.
We're back here again with Joe Rothermel. Joe, 2 years in the car, first time at the runoffs. This has got to feel pretty good.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Now, Chubba is from Ohio. Has he put a lot of miles on this track?
We've come to a couple of the regional races. We were here just 2 weeks ago. We won Saturday. I think it was a double regional. Won Saturday. Took 4th place on Sunday.
This is your first year with the team. You going to be back next year?
2nd year, and I'll probably be back, yes.
Good job.
Thank you.
Sounds like those two had a pretty good time, and they've got a lot to show for it here. Obviously, they did a lot of hard work that was not obvious to everybody else.
Well, like I said, he made it look easy, but when you see him get out of the car, I guarantee it wasn't easy. He had to carry that car, and that's not easy to do. The car's sliding all around and so forth. He drove it perfectly within the limit of the car.
Now he's getting a little bit excited. Before that, he just looked like a man on a Sunday drive out there, just paying attention to what he had to do. He's waving to the workers now and the fans who have seen a dominating performance from Chubba Boudichot in American Sedan.
I think it just took him about a half a lap for it to sink in that they can't take it from him. His name's in the record book, and now he's feeling his oats.
So he's heading back towards the start-finish line, where we will hear from him very shortly. After that, he'll get the ceremonial victory lap, one of the very unique and fun things that they do here at the Valvoline Runoffs. There is your winner, who led every lap, all 20 of them, here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
Well, he came here to race, that's for sure. He had a great start from 3rd place, ran it up to the front, and said bye. Just took off.
Slowed down a little bit towards the end, and Brian LaCroix ended up finishing just over 2 seconds behind him. He had made a run earlier. Bob Hahn rounding out the top 3. There's LaCroix, the 2nd place finisher. He too staying out of trouble, keeping all the fenders on the car, and tried to make a run towards the end, but the man up front was just too strong.
Yeah, he had too much of a lead going. I think he really opened it up early and then just smoothed it out.
So they're heading down pit road towards Victory Circle, where Chris Neville and Guy Hobbs are standing by to talk to our top finishers. We'll be right back to listen to them in a moment. Valvoline. You can always tell the guys who use Valvoline. Take a look at the top 10. We got a great look at Chubba Show. For 20 laps, he led this one. Brian LaCroix in second, Bob Hahn third. They are the gold, silver, and bronze medals. Kyle Watkins and Monty Coles rounding out the top 5. Cary Grant had a busy day and ended up in 6th. And James Stevens rounded out the top 10. Now let's go downstairs to Guy Hobbs.
And a very happy Chubba has pulled it into the victory lane. Chubba, first of all, congratulations, a win on home soil.
Thank you very much. It feels real good. I mean, for the first time at the Runoffs, and I never dreamed of winning this race, but it's just unbelievable. I mean, qualified third, and I was hoping at least to keep my position, but it can be better than first.
What were you thinking when the leaders went off in that first early lap there?
I was just thinking to keep my line, don't look in the mirror, and just like Costa was telling me, you know, just mind your own race. And the Hoosier tire came in great. They weren't slick. They were just perfect.
Right towards the end there, it looked like Brian LaCroix was starting to catch you up a little bit, and it sounded like you may have had a cracked header. Any concerns there the last 5 laps?
I think I have a header leak. I was able to hear it more and more. The reason it was catching up with me because I backed off a little bit. Constantine, my crew, was telling me my lead I had, and I just backed up just a tad, you know, just in case to don't make any mistakes.
All right, once again, congratulations. The rest of the crew and family were all watching over on the backstretch. Just one guy in pit lane. And talking of pit lane a little further up, Chris Neville.
Well, I'm up here with second place, Brian Lacroix. Brian, 8th to 2nd. Fantastic finish today.
Yeah, there was a lot of bumping going on in the beginning, and I gained some places like that. And then I just kind of stuck on the number 9's car bumper, and had a competition from Hahn there. But the Goodyear tires were excellent, and they hooked up for me, and that brought me to the front, and I'm psyched.
You know, we were looking up and down pit lane for your crew. You don't have a crew. You're here all by yourself. No radio. How'd you know you were in second and trying to hunt down Shababua?
Well, after the yellow, the double yellow, I knew that we were there. And, yeah, I don't have a crew, but I got to thank Matt Roberts, who had the pole, and his crew. They put my car back together. I had motor problems all week, and they took it apart, put it together, and I'm here, and it's because of them. So maybe I can talk them into tearing me down in tech.
Now, you were 18 seconds back. You made up 16 seconds of that. Did you kind of run out of car there at the end?
I didn't run out of car. The tires were hooked up, and I was going, and I knew I was catching them. And we got into the lap traffic, and that number 13 car, the red Camaro, really gave me a hard time, and I lost all my momentum and overcooked the tires, and then I had to lay back, and I thought, you know, with 6 laps I could gain a little bit on them, but that was too much for the car.
Back up to the booth.
All right, as Chubba Show takes his victory lap of honor, and boy, a pretty happy guy behind the wheel there, huh?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Comes to his first runoffs and wins the thing like that over heavily favored opposition, really.
Well, a lot of the heavily favored opposition was behind him and taking each other out, so he really made a good move at just exactly the right time to take the lead from the start and beat all of these men and women, actually, to the finish line. We had 40 starters, and naturally all of them will be listed here. Look at Matt Roberts back there, the pole sitter to 30th place, and he had an adventure today, too.
He had an adventure that he'll soon like to forget, and sometimes they go like that.
Tom Oates also back there in 28th. He had been up towards the front, in fact, as high as 5th place from starting 10th, and then apparently had some issues with mechanical problems. And out of all those cars that started the race, this man beat them all to the finish line and did a masterful job of it.
Well, you couldn't get asked for more than what he put up this week. I mean, it's a perfect display of driving.
Let's go back downstairs to Guy Hobbs with 6th place Cary Grant.
Yeah, he featured quite a bit in a very busy race out there.
Yes, it very much was. I knew if I could make it through the first 2 laps and the madness involved there and keep it on the track after that, I'd have a good finishing position. And I just pushed until I got it. I lost it towards the end. Fortunately, I didn't go in the grass. I was able to keep my momentum, keep the car fired, get back going again. I had a flat spotted tire after that, but kept it on the road and brought it home.
All right, congratulations.